Continental Tire Coaches Corner. Continental Tire, proud to be the exclusive tire of the Dan Patrick Show. No matter where you drive or what you drive, Continental designs tires for what you do. For more info, visit ContinentalTire.com. Continental Tire, for what you do. We know who my Predators will face in the Stanley Cup Final. Will be the defending Stanley Cup champion Penguins. He's the head coach of my Predators. Peter Laviolette joins us now. How late did you stay up last night, Coach?
The whole thing, Dan.
You did?
The whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, did you flip over to watch the basketball game at all?
No, I didn't. I stayed dialed in on that just to watch the game and take it in, see who we were playing, and found out it was Pittsburgh. I actually didn't mind as you're waiting for your opponent. You actually don't mind to see overtimes coming. Just more wear and tear. So we didn't mind the fact that it went to overtime or a couple overtimes, and eventually there was a winner.
Do you take notes?
No. So the way it works is usually the video guys are in here and they're breaking down everything and they're putting it in compartments, whether it be face-offs or forechecks or D-zone coverage, power play, penalty kill, all of that, and they're collecting information mostly on the series, but we'll go back and we'll look on things that we did against them as well, and we'll mesh the two together at some point, and then there'll be a bunch of things that we'll go through kind of piece by piece, and from there we'll break it down and we'll get a preparation package ready for the players and present it to them maybe the day before the game.
Who are you rooting for?
Yeah, I'm staying away from. You always see the one. Oh yeah, I'm pulling for this one. I'm pulling for that one, and then they come in and they win the game or they sweep you 4-0. And I was asked that so many times. I wish I had $1 for every time I was asked that. Who are you pulling for tonight? Who are you pulling for? I'm like, no, thank you.
Coach, you just say
Ottawa.
Ottawa.
Somebody, they're going to be a good opponent. What's that? You
just say Ottawa because then if Pittsburgh comes in and is great, you can say this is why I didn't want to face Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but it went to overtime. If it was Ottawa, and then they end up you get swept under the rug, and they're back looking at you saying, "You shouldn't have picked Ottawa. You're so stupid."
You're from Massachusetts. What's your favorite sports memory growing up in Massachusetts?
Oh, probably. I watched a lot of the Bruins. That was, dating myself here. That's back when there was only like 5 channels and TV 38 and the Bruins being delivered and the Montreal Canadiens, and watching that. That was pretty awesome as a kid growing up. You were Bruins fans of all the old time Bruins, Bobby Orr, Phil Esposito, Wayne Cashman, and probably lots of hockey memories, I think, from the Bruins, mostly as a kid. I was a Massachusetts kid all the way through college, and then have since drifted off into different parts of the country, but my roots, I guess, always take me back to Massachusetts.
What about Celtics memories, Red Sox memories? Did you
Well, there was always great Celtics memories with Larry Bird and what they were able to do. That was back when, it was Bird, Parrish, and McHale, and those guys. They always had big runs and championship playoff moments and that sort of thing. The Sox, not so much. It was the Sox were awesome to watch. Doug Flutie was a big thing. When that happened, I remember that. That was clear as day. That was awesome, too.
He's the head coach of the Predators, Peter Laviolette, joining us, the Continental Tire Coaches Corner. If I said 2 months ago you'd be in the Stanley Cup Final, you would have said what?
I would have said I agree. We played, so, the way our season went, just to give you a quick snapshot of it, in my opinion, is that in October we came out of the gate and we struggled a little bit. We had some pretty significant changes over the summer, and I think we were getting the seats on the bus in order and putting, the roles changed. When you have young players, I'll give you, for instance, Ryan Johansson and Philip Forsberg, and when you come in and you're a first-year player, you're not necessarily expected to be on the front of the rope, and if you can have a great year and be a contributing factor, that's a good thing for your team. But when you're actually supposed to be on the front of the rope and pulling those wins and pulling the season in our direction and in our favor, I think that there's a little bit of a learning curve there inside of your team. Ryan Ellis really stepped up big this year. Roman Josi, Philip Forsberg, Ryan Johansson, Matthias Ekholm. So these are the guys now that are, it wasn't about what happened last year or the year before or 3 years ago. This was the new crew. And we knew we had good people, and we knew we had good leaders and good players. I think it just took a little bit through October, just working through that. In November, we were really good and played terrific hockey. Then we started I never use injuries as an excuse, but they happen. And we were just pushing through some injuries through, early December to mid-January. There was a point there, so you had mentioned 2 months prior. 2 months prior to the season, we really started to play good hockey. We were, at that point, I think we were maybe 500. We're a 500 team. We might have been sitting in the last wild card spot, maybe out of the playoffs for a couple days. And we started to get healthier and understand things a little bit better inside of our identity and the way we played and our competitiveness. We started to play a little bit better defense. And for the last 2 months of the season, we were pretty competitive. Even the games that we lost, there was a lot of times we said, we hate the result, but we like the way we played. And it might have been a 2-1 loss in Montreal. And so we did the right things. We felt like we had the game going our way, and we didn't get the results. And we ended up winning a lot of games. At one point, we were 15 or 16 games over 500 from being 500. And then once we clinched, there were some guys that were banged up, and we just needed to rest those guys and make sure that we were ready to go for the playoffs.
Last time that you wanted to meet a celebrity who turned out for a hockey game in Nashville?
What was it? Say it again?
The last time you wanted to meet a celebrity who was at the hockey game?
Well, there's been some good ones. I mean, having Keith Urban when they were Luke. I mean, it's hard to pick one. I mean, Carey's at the game, Luke's at the game, Keith Urban's at the game. Lady Antebellum. So many people that have been coming to games. It's really turned into a place to be. So not only is it the Stanley Cup Finals, but the downtown is on fire right now. Somebody said that there was 20,000 people outside of our building and viewing parties, and they're expecting that number to go way up for the finals.
Wow.
Now it's mixed in with Country Fest, too, and the CMA Awards, so that's more people pouring in downtown. I think that you're going to see TVs everywhere on the outside and people just mobbing downtown. And the places already bring so much energy, and I just think it's going to be an incredible environment in Nashville.
Can you fill us in on hot chicken? Are you aware of this dish down there?
I have not had the hot chicken yet.
Peter, how long have you been there?
I definitely don't want it, Dan, going behind the bench. Like there was actually a hot chicken and waffle sandwich came into the coach's office before the game, and I'm thinking to myself, with the amount of stress and everything, if I eat this, like I would literally be on fire behind the bench. I'd be just guzzling the water down, and I stayed away from it. So I have not had it yet to this point.
Well, I don't expect a playoff share, but some acknowledgement when the Predators win the Cup would be nice, Coach. That's all.
Well, I appreciate the support. I heard you. My Nashville Predators. I like that.
Yeah.
And we're going to do our best not to disappoint you, bud.
Coach, I've been a fan for like 5 weeks now. I mean, like forever. So
I know it. I love it.
It goes way back.
There's plenty of room. Come on aboard.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck. Thank you, Peter.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for having me on the show.
Peter Laviolette is going back to the Stanley Cup Final, third time. 3 different teams, right? My Predators here. People in Pittsburgh are like, oh, you're Predators, huh? Relax. Come on. They're my Predators.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.